Today's video, we're going to talk about using PixelMe versus pre-landing pages for tracking and advertising Amazon listings. Okay, so driving traffic from a Google Ads campaign to your Amazon listing. Okay, so there's technically multiple ways to do this. PixelMe is a software where you essentially can run ad campaigns from Google to your Amazon listing and see how well the ads produce for your business inside the PixelMe software. And they're able to do this with a special tracking link that you're going to send the traffic to / through itself. The sellers of PixelMe, they are basically going to just tell you that it's a great idea because Amazon's going to charge you less commission to send traffic directly to your listing, but primarily you do it to help get you better organic rankings on your Amazon search results, given that Amazon actually says also that this can help you potentially sending traffic outside your listing in terms of how well you rank, which should just naturally make sense because if you are getting outside traffic to your listing, why wouldn't Amazon want to rank you higher? Because you're clearly a brand. They want to rank brands because the brands are more likely to give customers a good experience versus the no-name product, so to say. They'll always give products a chance a little bit to try to find undiscovered products. The safer bet, a majority of the time, is just to go with products that have outside traffic coming in. So you generally want to drive traffic to your listings if you're selling on Amazon, at least unless you're trying to sell on your website primarily. And I'm going to talk about selling on your website versus on Amazon. Really, you should have both if you want to make the most money. And there's a special way to drive some traffic to your website, some traffic to your Amazon to make the most money. In some occasions, we'll drive traffic only to our Amazon listing, even though we do have it on our website. I'll talk about all that and more so you can make the most money with your Amazon listings for your business and advertising it. And then as it pertains to tracking your return on investment and optimizing your ads that you're paying for as well. So before I get into the content though, if you do not know who I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, an online advertising agency that specializes in guaranteeing results for their clients. That is, we do not charge our clients management fees until we can get them a certain minimum lift in the profitability, basically in excess of the management fee. We are the only agency out there doing anything like this. That said, getting into the content, I'm going to have a couple case studies here that I'm going to go over where we actually drove traffic to our website to get Amazon sales versus driving traffic directly to Amazon. Because that's always an option that you're going to have using so-called, what I at least call pre-landers for sending your traffic through before it gets to your Amazon listings itself. Okay? But with that said, to get Amazon products off the ground, like if you're to launch a new product on Amazon today and you don't really have a store there and you sold there a lot before, it's going to be hard getting that off the ground. You're not going to get any traffic. Eventually, maybe Amazon will give you a trickle of traffic, and then eventually that trickle turns into a bit more trickle and so forth. Sometimes it won't even do that. It just won't get off the ground at all. So what do? You drive traffic to your listing to force Amazon to realize how much of a force of reckoning this product actually is. Okay? Even if it means you're losing money because you're just investing in the future with Amazon. You're kickstarting the process, if you will. Now, you send traffic to Amazon to get that going. Now, if you are already selling on your website, then in a lot of occasions, it won't make sense to drive traffic to your Amazon listing to get the listing off the ground because you're actually already going to get traffic to go to your Amazon listing and buy by driving traffic to your main website. How? Well, when you advertise on your main website or to your main website, there's a certain percentage of people that right before they buy, they're going to go and say to themselves, maybe I could go just check out and see if Amazon has the same item and I could buy it there because I don't have to put my credit card information in, which is hard. I don't have to trust my credit card information with a third-party company. When you're putting a $20 order through, is it really worth giving my information over to a third-party company that may lose it, get it stolen, whatever, itself? And those are the two main things that they're thinking about. So that the last second, they'll go to Amazon, see if they can find it there. If they can, they'll buy. if you will. So you're going to get what we found about 10% of your overall orders if you offer the same thing on Amazon as you do on your main website to buy on Amazon. That is if you offer something that ultimately it's the same exact price, same exact thing on Amazon as it is on the main website itself, you'll see that crossover traffic. So just putting that product on Amazon should be already enough to get the thing kickstarted just through that last minute shift over of traffic that gets to your shopping cart and then tries to find it on Amazon so they could buy it there. Also, by the way, a lot of people buy on Amazon because they want faster shipping. And that's the other reason I didn't mention why they would at the last minute go to Amazon and buy it there. You also have that as well. You may only get 3-4% of your orders to go to Amazon as a whole if you are marketing your products on Amazon as is in addition to your website. In some cases, it could be upwards of 20-25% we've seen. It varies by the product. Generally speaking, for a cheaper product, it's going to be more as what we found, but we also seen products that sell for thousands, we're going to get people to buy it on Amazon 10-15% of the time as well. So there isn't no hard and fast rule when it comes to knowing how much of your volume is going to go through your Amazon listing through your main website. But in the case that I'm selling on my main website, I'm going to push the traffic there because I'm going to get the crossover traffic, at least with the goal of getting the Amazon going, getting ranked there, and so forth. I actually recommend Amazon ads first before a Google campaign if you actually do plan on driving traffic to your Amazon listing, assuming you don't have a website that you're selling your product on, you just have an Amazon store. Before you run Google ads to your Amazon listing ads or Amazon listings, run a Amazon ads campaign itself. Why? Because that traffic will generally convert better. That traffic that's already on Amazon is more likely to buy on Amazon than somebody who isn't on Amazon that you convinced to go to Amazon because they're on Amazon. You already know they're okay with the shopping on Amazon. They got an account there, and so forth. And then with that, the best producing ads on Amazon are going to be listings on your direct competitors' products. So somebody's on your direct competitor's product page, they see your product there, they go to check it out, they buy. That's going to be the number one best ad to run. Once you've done that, you're going to start running the search ads as well. And you're going to show up for people typing in your competitors' names and then people that are searching for something that describes your product, and in that order, okay? Once you've got all that low-hanging fruit picked, or you've set up your ads there, if you're not satisfied with the rate in which you're getting ranked, go ahead, start up a Google Ads campaign, driving traffic to the listings as well. It's going to be a lot more money. Instead of spending $1,000 a month, you may be spending $5,000 a month to drive traffic there, but it will certainly get you ranked 5 times faster in addition. For that matter, I do want to also say that I would be wanting to do everything I can to do all the other stuff Amazon recommends from and to me. Using FBA, getting the buy box going, all this other stuff that you want before you dip into the Google ad traffic as well, because that all helps you rank better as well. So if you've done all the basic, things that Amazon wants you to do, you started up your Amazon ads, if you're still not getting ranked high enough, that's when the Google ads traffic can come in. And yes, it might be $5,000 a month in ad spend for a while to get the thing kick started, but in a lot of spaces, you could get 1,000 orders a month through Amazon by ranking first for a mainstream term like, porch swing or flower pot, something generic like that. And the way that you do that is you run heavy traffic to the listing. Now, the heavy traffic to the listing by itself isn't going to do anything, but what actually works is driving that traffic to the listing. You're getting a higher purchase rate than your competition, and then the rate of which orders are coming in, you get a little bit higher in the rankings, which adds to the Google traffic purchases that you get, which then gets you. So think about it like this. And this is the same way Google search engine works. Essentially, you're ranked number 10, okay? What Amazon's trying to do is figure out, should you be basically ranked number 10, 9, 10, or 11? They're going to see the rate of purchases the number 9 guy is getting right now in terms of the traffic that they drive to them, but it also in general rate of purchases that item's getting. And you drive Google Ads traffic to your listing to increase the amount of purchases that product gets. They're going to assume that the guy that's sitting at number 9 that you're outselling now should be you. So now you get up a little higher in the listing. That adds in traffic in and itself and purchases in and itself. At that point in time, you maybe ratchet up the Google Ads traffic a little bit more. Now you're 8. And that brings in its own traffic, which gives you a bit more ammo to spend a little bit more on ad spend. And then now you're 7. And once you rank number 1 for that porch swing or whatever, you're going to get sales coming in, assuming it's a product that's as good or better than what was ranked there first before, because you still got to get that or have that. You're going to stay ranked even with no Google Ads traffic because people are getting there, they're buying at a high rate, they're leaving good reviews, and you're cemented at the top. So this system would not work unless you've done all the basics of Amazon, what they want you to do, but also you've got a product that will have a high purchase rate compared to the competition. You've got a nice looking product that has good features, and also people review it at a high rate. For that matter, when you have that product and you launch it, Amazon doesn't know that it's going to be that top leader product in the category. You're just simply getting the Google Ads traffic to come to the listing for Amazon to realize it much quicker than they would otherwise. Otherwise, all you're doing is just increasing the amount of time it will take for you to realize that this product that you're trying to sell, at least as compared to the other products on Amazon. The rankings have to do with how quickly you sell, from what I see, more than anything else. Okay? For that matter, it's just a matter of how much Google traffic do you need to send at it to get you to have it sell enough to where you rank number 1. And that's really the question. And the more competitive a category it is, the more you're going to have to send. If it's in a category where you only have 4 or 5 competitors, you could actually send traffic at it $500 a month and rank number 1 in 30 days. If it's a search result like porch swing, it could certainly take $5,000 a month in ad spend and 6 months to rank number 1. So it's a different story. Okay, just it depends on the competition level. Something else to consider here, if you drive traffic from an Amazon ad to your listing, you're going to be paying 15% commissions to Amazon, depending on your category. But if you send outside Google traffic to your listing, they'll only charge you 4% commission. Why? Because they realize nobody's going to send traffic to Amazon if you got to pay 15% to Google in terms of advertising cost and then 15% to Amazon just to take the order. It's just smarter to send people to your website and sell it there. Amazon's in it for the long haul. They want to get the customer data, because once somebody buys your product, they know what else they could sell to that customer, and they're building up long-term viability of their platform itself. So they give you a lower rate because they're looking past what they're making on the initial transaction. They want that data, baby, okay? Just realize that. And before, we didn't send traffic from Google Ads to Amazon because they were not giving us that deal. It just made the economics not make sense. Or at least we were only going to do it super short term, not indefinitely. Nowadays, with the 4%, you can do it indefinitely. And I'm going to talk about that here next. But before I do, by the way, I just want to mention if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet and you want information straight from the source on somebody who actually is in the weeds running ad strategies on dozens of ad accounts on an ongoing basis, you want to subscribe to this channel because that's exactly what I do at our agency here. And I spend my weekends sharing what works and what doesn't work with ads. Most of these yahoos on YouTube and online talking about ad strategy don't run any ads themselves. They're front men, they don't actually run any ads themselves, or they don't run any ads, they're making money off of courses and they're just pulling the wool over your eyes. I have to work 70 hours a week to do what I'm doing here on this channel. Nobody else is crazy enough for the most part to do that. So if you want the actual real information that's going to help you make millions of dollars a year running ads for your business, you want to subscribe to the channel. So subscribe already if you haven't. Furthermore, you check out my blog. On my blog, I got my strategies that I've mapped out on how to actually get the results we're getting for clients on a guaranteed basis to guarantee their results with screenshots, with the step-by-step instructions, everything you would need to use them. So if you like the channel, you're definitely going to want to check that blog out as well. Beyond that, if you have any questions about anything I'm covering here, you think you have a unique situation, let me know in the comments. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. Okay? And it could be any marketing related question for that matter. I don't care. I answer every question that's asked me just as a way of saying thank you for watching the channel and helping the channel grow. Moving forward here, now I haven't even talked about pre-landers yet. Pre-landers are a page that you send people to before they get to the ultimate product listing page where you're selling a product itself, okay? It's like a page to warm the user up, to get them hot and excited about your product, so then when they get to the product listing page, which doesn't have super hard-hitting copy on it and so forth, they're gonna be more likely to buy, if you will. It gives you unlimited real estate to sell every feature and every benefit and all of it to the user, so to say. And when you sell expensive products, it's especially important, but not just with expensive products though either. I'm gonna typically use pre-landers instead of sending traffic to Amazon directly itself when I'm gonna run Google Ads traffic for an Amazon listing, because I want to be able to track properly, okay? With the PixelMe platform, they will tell you which keywords convert and all that, but that's pretty much only a small sliver of the data you truly need to make your ad campaigns perform well. That is, if you're gonna plan on running Google traffic at an Amazon campaign long-term, to not only get you ranked, but stay ranked, permanently submitted at the top. For that matter, what you do with this pre-lander is, it's just basically a landing page as I just described, and it says, this product has great reviews on Amazon, buy it on Amazon. And then maybe below on the lower part of the page, you talk about all the features and benefits and all that, but the main part of the page up top just tells about how this product's available on Amazon and has 48 reviews, a perfect 5-star score. It's like an advertisement for Amazon, so to say. With that, you can have the button that says buy it on Amazon set up as a conversion goal. So when somebody clicks that button, it'll track in your Google Ads account and it'll tell you what keyword they typed in, what search phrase they actually typed in specifically, the search term itself, time of the day they searched, day of the week they searched, and then Google's algorithm itself is going to utilize all that data about the user, about websites they visit, what product pages they visited in the past, what they've typed in or said in the past with a Google app on their phone, and utilize it so that, and compare it to other customers that click through on that button in the future to the ones that don't, to identify on a greater and greater basis who's actually the type of person who buys from you or not. Because just knowing, like with the PixelMe app, that XYZ keyword red shoes is a good keyword, that's not where the real results are. The real results are finding out the one of 5,000 people who search for red shoes that actually are the really good ROI people inside there. That they have a certain income, a certain age, they like to visit certain websites, and honing in on that. And then, because at that point in time, you could run a campaign at a profit and you could just let it run indefinitely, so to say. Instead of just running it at a loss for a while, maybe having some keyword data so you know a little bit what to weed out, but you're barely being able to do that itself. The Google Ads algorithm is a miraculous thing nowadays. It's so sophisticated. When you actually feed in the data about what's working, what's not, it's extremely good at finding your customer out, to the point where 90% of your results long-term are going to be predicated on the amount of data you've collected in your account. I've talked about this many times on this channel before. Now, somebody who clicks on the buy button on your pre-landing page isn't a buyer. So it's not quite as good as having the actual purchase data, but it's pretty darn close and definitely good enough to optimize the hell out of your Google Ads campaigns, right? Okay? So if I'm going to run my Amazon ads for a while, I'm going to use a Google Ads campaign and a pre-lander, versus if I'm going to do it really quickly itself, then I can use a PixelMe account to kind of get things going quickly, because I'm not planning to optimize and use the data to optimize my campaigns long term, so to say. And it's a little easier to use PixelMe to set up a Google campaign and so on and so forth. So you could use it, if you will. And ultimately, if you send the Google Ads traffic directly to your Amazon listing itself, you're not going to have any data to track on, whereas PixelMe is at least going to give you some data to optimize your ads with. And for that matter, if I'm just launching a new product and I send them to a user to a pre-landing page, but there's no Amazon reviews listed on there, where I can't say this is reviewed highly on Amazon, that pre-landing page it's going to be tough to even get it to work anyway. So there is a case for PixelMe using it for the purpose of driving Google Ads traffic at your Amazon listings, but only usually on a short-term basis. For products under $50, pre-landers work really well to monetize those products. So instead of selling a $30, sample, food product or something like that, I'm going to use a pre-landing page itself with that. I'm going to drive people from that pre-landing page to Amazon to buy, because the cheaper the product, the more likely somebody's going to just want to buy it on Amazon itself. The more expensive product that you have, though, the more likely they're going to buy it on your website. And your website in itself is the right place because people are often going to have questions, they're going to want to call. And on Amazon, you can't call. But if there's no human interaction whatsoever and it's like a cheap item and people don't have to think about it very much, they're going to tend to want to buy it on Amazon. So I'm going to have the pre-landing page approach there, and I'm going to try to drive them to Amazon to check out itself, because most people are going to want to do that. Even when I've got to pay my 15% commission. So if I have super high margins where I have like an 80%, 70% margin, I'm going to send them to the pre-landing page, and I'm going to take the hit on the commission, the 15% commission itself, having to pay for the Google Ads traffic, and then again 15% to process the order on Amazon, because there's margin to do it. If I have low margins, okay, then I'm going to put a buy with Prime button on my product page on my website, drive my Google Ads traffic there, so that, because with buy with Prime, you're only paying 3% of the product price to process that order. And so I can get the best of both worlds. I can get the Google tracking data, all the data that I can possibly get with Google Ads by sending them to the actual product page on my website. And the people that are going to tend to want to buy on Amazon anyway, they can do it by clicking the Amazon button there, which the buy with Prime button, they click on it. There's a pop-up that says, log into Amazon, and then without leaving your e-commerce website at all, they can finish their order. That is something that you could do instead if you have lower margins and can't pay 15% to Amazon and still come out on top in terms of your profitability, your margins, and so on and so forth. Now, getting into the couple examples here that I was going to go over, as I mentioned at the start of this video, there are a couple different companies here that we've done this exact model with before. And just to show you where that is, a pre-lander would work better than sending them to our product page on our website from a Google Ads campaign, that actually netted us more money. Okay? So one was a muscle building supplement. We sent people to a pre-landing page mentioning, just like I said before, we're highly, highly reviewed on Amazon, buy it there. That was more profitable than sending them to a product page on Amazon, even though it said on the product page itself that we're well reviewed on Amazon. Just getting them to go directly to Amazon and just assume they're going to buy it there works better and produce more profit per dollar of ad spend coming from our Google Ads traffic or account. Also, the second one where we had a similar thing happen was when we sold workout gear or exercise equipment, workout bands, that kind of thing, cheap items. So, which both of these, the common thread here is they're cheap items. So this is the best reviewed, exercise bands on Amazon. Click here to buy it on Amazon. We did that there, and it actually made more money than trying to sell those to people on our website itself. So again, like I said, the deciding factor should be here is it a low price product? But also, I would also tell you, is it a product that has low trust? Because the one thing that Amazon really does for your business when you have a low trusting product, because it's in a low trust category like weight loss pills, stuff like that, is it gives people a reassurance that what you say you actually do, or the product does what you say it does and has the benefits you say it does. So when you say you got 300 positive reviews on Amazon, it's like, oh, wow, this really does work, so to say. And I want to see that it does by clicking through and physically seeing those reviews on Amazon. And while I'm there, oh, I already got an account, let's just go ahead and check out. And that becomes a very profitable funnel to sell a product like that versus selling something more expensive or selling something that already has a lot of trust. I don't need that boost of, Amazon reassuring users that this product really does what it says, so to say. With that said, though, a lot of people, like I said, they like the convenience of checking out through Amazon and so forth, and they're going to go to your main website and venture over to Amazon anyway. But in those cases, generally speaking, Amazon Buy with Prime button is going to be better there than sending them to the pre-lander page. Okay, so that, your options are, in summary here, you could send them to a pre-lander page. You could send them to a regular product page on your website with a Buy with Prime button, or you could send them directly to the Amazon listing itself and gather at least some tracking data that shows which Google ads are working and which are not through having a PixelMe account. So you could choose what you basically want. For just a short, quick thing, you could use PixelMe. For anything even halfway long term, and because conversion data, makes or breaks a Google campaign really in terms of profitability and how much it makes, I'm going to send traffic to either a pre-landing page or the product page with a Buy with Prime button on it itself. A lot of people don't like to even use a Buy with Prime button on their website either though, because they want to capture all the customer data themselves, which you lose it with the Buy with Prime button as well. And in order to do email marketing in the future and like selling more stuff to these people, you can't do it, which is in my mind the main drawback of selling on Amazon. Even still though, you can't deny you'll typically make more with an Amazon account, listing the same item there, sending people to your main website, and the 10% that absolutely won't buy unless they can buy on Amazon, you let them do it, and everybody else you get to buy the normal way. And that, generally speaking, unless you're selling a cheap product that has not a lot of trust, you're better off not sending them to Amazon as much as you can because you get the customer data for yourself, if you will. Sometimes people only will buy once and that's it. And then when sending them to Amazon, yeah, it's going to be less of a problem or what have you too as well. But any repeat business, I absolutely want to capture that customer data myself. And I want to send them to my website itself because for anything that's not cheap, they're going to want to often ask a question and they can't ask a question on Amazon, so the conversion rate's not going to be the same. So there's a lot of things to consider here when you're trying to drive traffic from Google to Amazon as to what you're losing, what you're gaining. I gave you all the different variables there so you can decide for yourself now. If you want to know specifically in your case what will likely work the best, you can reach out to me and I can do a quick coaching or consulting session with you, walk you all the way through it the way that I know from doing this dozens of times now, what's likely to work the best in your situation. I also could tell you a bunch of other ways to make your business better, of course, while we're at it in terms of making ads work for your business. And we can do the full, done for you service and we can actually guarantee your results. If you would like that, reach out to me at my agency at guaranteedppc.com and I can definitely set that up for you and give you an actual bona fide guarantee of results in terms of what profit we can make for you. We also sell ad templates. Ultimately, if we've worked and sold a product or service like yours before, we can actually give you the template of ads, landing pages, campaign templates, all of it that work for your niche market. You reuse it for your own in your geographic area that you're in, a different country, different city, different state that you're in, that our client was not in, or a past client was not in, and you can use it for yourself. And we can tell you the results you're going to get with it up front because we've already ran ads in your market before. Completely avoid all the hard work and money we had to spend to figure out the ultimate best way to run ads in your market. And for that matter, in a lot of markets, we spent millions of dollars of ad spend to figure out the best way to run an ad in your market. And so it'd be silly not to take advantage of that data. And at least you should find out what results we got so you would know what you're standing to gain. But even if we didn't work in your niche market itself, you could use a template that's almost the same as what you're selling and be way out ahead. Or if you're trying to get a second revenue source going for your business, start selling something that we already sold in country A and sell it in country B. And you have a turnkey business in a box, so to say, which we've had several people buy our templates just for that reason alone. So if you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at my agency at guaranteedppc.com. With that said, to sum this up, okay, you have to think about what's going to make me the most money in my business. Is it having Amazon, not having it? Having Amazon, there's, logistical challenges of just managing that account. If I have it, how much traffic am I going to drive to it versus driving traffic to my main website? Depending on your niche market, it's going to vary. Before making any overall long-term decisions on it, I recommend, if you're not sure, testing it, multiple ways. What will you make driving traffic to Amazon directly in terms of what it will give you in terms of increasing rankings? How much will you make sending traffic directly to your website and still having an Amazon listing so people that want to check out through Amazon still can? And because it can make such a big impact on your business long-term, given that tens of millions of people in the US alone shop on Amazon, and you can't deny the fact that they already trust Amazon and their card information saved there, how much easier it can be to sell your product, selling it through there. But also similarly, because Amazon has a lot of rules, they charge a lot of commissions now. It's not nearly as cheap as it was. And you don't own the customer, how much more you can make through your website. Long term, as a brand, you want to be selling through your website. So you own your customer data and you own all your tracking data as well, in full, in totality. Versus selling on Amazon, if Amazon decides that you've pissed them off someday, your business is gone. I don't want to be in that position at all. So with that said, that, something else, it's one of the biggest decisions you're gonna have to make in your business ultimately. If you want somebody to, we're looking for partners in our agency where we can invest in your company. That is, we'll invest, if you have a great product or service that just needs great marketing, we'll invest our money into your ad spend, your strategies, using our agency's talent and time to set you up the best campaign possible for your market. All you got to do is give us a cut of your future revenue growth in your business and we'll make that investment. Just to be clear here, we're talking about overall gross revenue, not results that we can track through the ads. So we're going to make an investment in your business like this. We want to be part owners of it. But I can tell you, we've got several companies we've done this exact thing with now, and they're making multiple millions more in sales than they had before once we got on board. And we were like, steroids for their business because we were just laid on the resources because we know exactly what works with ads. Even though they're paying, they're getting a smaller piece of the pie now, they have a much greater pie and they overall making way more money working with us instead of working with a traditional agency on a monthly retainer basis because we are able to devote more resources knowing that we're going to have a long-term payout from the company, not a short-term payout. If you're interested in this, you can also reach out to my agency. We're looking at companies to invest in right at this time. So I'll wrap it up with that though. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you on the next one.
Remember when I said Amazon ads campaign was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.